I'm just going to drill a couple of holes in the seam line here. I do have the key, but it's always a good idea just to put some bolts, nuts and bolts through to keep the shell in position properly. Now I'm using a 8mm drill bit. I could probably have gone with 6, but I've only got 8mm nuts and bolts in my workshop. And it is a good idea just to wear a glove, because these edges are still razor sharp. I will clean those off just now. I've moved outside for this job because it's really dusty. I just want to add that when cutting fiberglass, it is vital to wear a pair of safety goggles and a dust mask, and as with any power tool, also a good pair of earmuffs. Once the mould is cleaned up nicely, we can now separate the two mould halves. I just use an old kitchen knife. I find that actually works quite well. And then just carefully put the knife into the seam line and then pry it apart. Right, there's the one half. And then I'll just release the silicone from the other half, and you can see where these keys are. It's now formed these indentations. So once I put the two halves together like that, it will line up the mold perfectly. And then also, because I've got this ridge line here, the two halves of the backing mold also marries up perfectly. The next step is to cut the seam line over there, and for that I use one of these Worth NT cutters. Now before I start cutting, I just draw a line over there so that I make sure that I'm cutting right in the middle of that line, and then I also just draw a line on that so that I can follow the middle. You can just use any Sharpie for that. Right, and now for the moment of truth. Don't rush this. You've only got one shot. Right, that is perfect. And then you can just release a little wax sculpture, and if you cut carefully, the wax should be left pretty much intact. And then there's the inside of the mould. I'm very happy with the registration and the quality of the surface on this. And you can see once that closes up, there's pretty much no seam line visible, and that's exactly what we want. So now we'll just put this back into the fiberglass backing. Give it a bit of a wiggle. Make sure everything seats in there nicely. And then just inspect the seam line on the inside. One might have to just use a little bit a stick just to push it, but this one looks absolutely perfect. And then all that remains is to bolt that together, and this mold is then ready for casting. I trust that you found this video useful. In my next video I'll show you how I'm casting one of these little sculptures. Please remember to subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you on the next one. Have a great day. Cheers.